This week on the Salesforce Admins Podcast, well, I hope you took the over on the over-under of number of admin relations team members I can fit on a pod, because I've got the second most or maybe the most, but we're all here to give you a roadmap to get prepared for TDX. I almost said Trailblazer DX, but then it was Trailhead DX. I'm going to go with TDX. That's probably the most current name right now. But we're going to talk about keynotes. We're going to talk about sessions. We're going to talk about stuff to walk around and look at and put your fingers on the keyboards. And then also, you know, everybody's got a phone in their pocket and you got to be on social. So Brittney's back from 100 years ago when I first had her on the podcast to help you engage in social and share all the fun pictures and stuff. So Kate, Jennifer, Brittney, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Let's get started with sessions, because I don't know about you, but every time I sign up for a conference, it's like, I got to figure out what sessions I'm going to. So Jen, Kate, I know you're both working diligently on some amazing sessions. Jen, you have the most, and that's no surprise. But let's start with you. What are the two breakout sessions you're working on for TDX?
Yeah, very excited for this. So my first breakout is called Unleash the Power of Modular Flows for Agentforce. I know that sounds a lot, but it's your admins, you're building out those flows. Now you could maximize those flows by building them modularly. And what I mean is breaking them down into the smallest components. So I will show you how you can go from a big flow down to a small flow and really optimize it for use with your agents. So that's the first one. And then the second one is called Elevate Prompt Template Agent Actions with the Power of Flow. So there is a theme that you see, flownatics, right? I love flow. I love the ability to leverage that flow magic in our prompt templates to really enrich your prompt templates and ground them in data. So I'm going to step through how to do that, how to use that power of flow in your prompt templates, and then further enrich your AI agents. So those are my two sessions, and they will be available video on demand on Salesforce Plus if you're not going to be there in person at TDX.
Oh, that's right. Because Salesforce Plus is a wealth of information. When we get done with events, holy cow, it needs to be, I wish there was an Apple TV app for that, because you could just sit and stream all of those sessions all the time. Mm-hmm. You should think about getting like a Lego agent, Cloudy, modular flows. Be kind of cool. You could rebuild it in Legos. Nope. Anyway, I think it's a good idea.
I might need to outsource that to my nephew.
I know, we got to find the budget for
Lego
it.
person.
Yeah. Just see if we got budget for that first. Kate, so Jen's going to show us some amazing flows. What session you're working on? Because I think it's going to tie in.
Absolutely. And I am going to leave the flows to the flow queen herself. But I will be doing a theater session. It's on day 2 at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific. That's March 6th. And we're going to talk demo to deployment. And this is a session on engaging stakeholders with Agentforce. I'm really excited about this session because I feel like the admins and the builders getting to know Agentforce have been operating almost in a vacuum. And while we're creative and smart and we know our users inside and out, that doesn't mean that we should be creating agents without input from our stakeholders and taking different business considerations into our agents and how we're building them. So in this session, we'll look at how to create an Agentforce demo to present to your stakeholders so that they understand the intent and capabilities of autonomous agents if they don't already. And then we'll work into working with them to brainstorm and prioritize how to put this technology to work in your own organization. And this is really important because it empowers admins to know exactly what to go build. And then stakeholders know what they're getting buy-in and building internal excitement around, which is going to ensure smoother adoption for everyone. Another shout out to Salesforce Plus here. This will also be video on demand. And I personally missed TDX last year. I had a big family trip that I had to go on. It was terrible. I was in Paris.
Oh,
I
you
know,
poor
but
thing.
when I
However
came
would you
back,
survive?
I know. Somehow I made it. All the croissants and baguettes and cheese that I had while I was there helped ease my pain. But when I came back, I was able to just, on my lunch breaks, watch the sessions that had been recorded and were on Salesforce Plus. And it really helped me get up to speed and feel like I was there, even though I was not able to attend.
So speaking of which, Brittney, you do a fabulous job of making everybody in the world feel like they're attending our events and engaging on social. For the admins that are like Kate and just have to go to France during TDX, what do you have planned for social, or what could admins that aren't attending TDX engage with?
Yeah, of course. And I don't mean to sound like an infomercial for Salesforce Plus again, but really, whether you're attending in person or you're going to be tuning in virtually, we have you covered. Leading up to the event, what we have is we'll be sharing must-attend sessions and can't-miss opportunities to get hands-on with Agentforce. We'll be calling out things that are available on demand. So as I'm sharing things on X, LinkedIn, and Facebook, you'll know if it speaks to you, if you are going to join us, or if you'll be watching online. I highly recommend, if you don't follow us on social, you go do that, because that's where you're going to get a ton of event updates before and after. And if I remember correctly, Mike always links to our social profiles in his show notes. So you should be covered there. And then during TDX, we got a lot of fun stuff planned for you. Really, we're your go-to hub for key updates, special moments. We have an Agentforce hackathon leading up to TDX, so we'll be sharing some moments from that. We also just share plenty of resources. So as we're sharing fun photos, videos, if you're not with us in person, we always try and share something from admin.salesforce.com that you can kind of go and get a little bit more information on that. Like Jen's modular flow session, I think she has correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, but has a blog post on that already. So you will not miss out on the action. So really just get ready, stay connected, and it's going to be an epic TDX, whether you're there in person or you're hanging out with me online.
I mean, it could be epic if you're having French baguettes and watching Salesforce Plus. I think that would work. Before we leave sessions, I'd love to get an idea of best practices for what admins could do to take notes when they attend sessions. So, Kate, I'll start with you. You were most recently an admin. When you would attend events or watch some of the content online, how would you take notes that you could translate back to the organization?
That is a great question. And it was something that I have played around with a couple kind of different ways that I've done this. And what has worked for me, because when you're sitting in these sessions, you don't want to miss a thing. You see people there that are like taking pictures on their phone of every slide that they see. And that just doesn't work for me to jog my memory in my brain. So I always have just a little notepad or my phone where I'll take notes on just like key concepts or things that I want to dive deeper into. That way I can still be really engaged, watch the content, take it all in as much as possible, and then know those things that I want to go back and do a deeper dive into. Jen, I don't know if you have a way that worked for you when you were an admin and a customer. It's definitely challenging to balance all of the excitement and just take in all of the information.
So, Kate, I was that person with my phone taking screenshots.
We found you. Now we know who you are.
But now in the events app, afterwards, you'll have access to the PDFs of the slides. So you don't have to be that person taking the screenshots. I would go on my phone and have a notepad up, and I would indicate the session and then here are the things that were worthy of remembering after I go home from TDX to look further into. So those were the things that I did because, there's going to be a lot of walking around, standing around at TDX, and you don't want to bring your heavy laptop. So definitely, if you could utilize whatever's on your phone for note taking, I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, big plus on that. I remember before I joined Salesforce, I used to walk around with an iPad. And now I know how silly I looked because it was like holding up like a textbook to take a picture, a screen, as opposed to a little phone. Mm-hmm. Let's jump into keynotes, because keynotes are always, people have opinions, they love them. They don't like them. There's a lot to take in. They're always afraid. Oh, my CEO is there. Now they just showed this and we're going to have to do this. What do we do? Kate, you're working on the keynote. Can you share anything for the keynote?
Absolutely. So this is my first TDX as an employee and first time working on a keynote like this. So I've been learning a lot and just really taking it in. My role has been focused on the demos that you'll see in the main keynote. So working with the team to visualize an Agentforce journey from both a customer's perspective of how autonomous agents have revolutionized their business, but also from the builder perspective. So how admins and developers can leverage low code, no code, pro code solutions as they create agents and problem solve for their organizations using AI. So hopefully it'll be really inspirational, visionary. You'll see some really great new product updates at TDX. So be sure to tune in either in person or again on Salesforce Plus.
Yeah. Jen, we'd be remiss to say that everything is Agentforce at TDX this year. And I know you're working on a big Agentforce area. I'll call it that because activation sounds too insider baseball. But what are you working on that's just huge for admins in Agentforce?
Yeah, so I'm part of the team that's working on the Agentforce zone, because it does take a village to put this all
takes
together.
A whole zone.
Yeah. So the Agentforce zone will be on the second floor, right by where the staircase is in Moscone West. So
okay.
Walk up the stairs if you want, get those steps in. Get those steps in, and it's going to be right there. And we're going to feature really introductionary content for Agentforce to whet your appetite for more information. So we have 3 sessions that we will be running throughout the 2-day event. First one being Intro to Building AI Agents with Agentforce. And this will give you an overview of the core components of Agentforce, talking about the Atlas reasoning engine, and really diving into Agent Builder. We're going to showcase and talk about all the different agent types that are available, but showcase the service agent. And also what is new to Agentforce is headless agents.
Oh, no.
And what I mean by that is agents running around.
Is that like the
head,
backup
right?
movie, Headless Agents, after Agentforce?
So it's really events on a record that trigger an agent to work behind the scenes. So It's not the user interacting with them. Let's say it could be someone submitted a comment on a case, and as a result, the agent's going to do these things behind the scenes. So it might be sending an email out or things like that.
Okay. We should call them like wizard agents or something, like Wizard of Oz.
Secret
like,
agents.
Secret. Oh, yeah. Then we could play this band. That would be awesome. I'd be a fan of secret agents. They're already wearing sunglasses, though. Would secret agents wear 2 pairs of sunglasses? Just be like, a dude out golfing, multiple pairs of sunglasses.
And also in that demo, we're going to showcase.
Oh yeah, Jen. Sorry, we gave you nowhere to go with that. just completely veered off course. Thanks for bringing us back.
You all back.
Yeah, I know it's what you do.
There's some really cool things coming down the pike for creating agents by using AI, and also creating test cases to test your agents. So I was playing around with that, really excited to have folks show you that. Our second session is build AI agents using the power of Agentforce and Data Cloud. So you know what Agentforce is. Some of you may or may not know what Data Cloud is, but why is Agentforce and Data Cloud together important to have? So we're going to show you how you can use pieces from Data Cloud, like data graphs and the Agentforce data library, and pulling in Data Cloud data into your agents to really take it to the next level. And we're also going to show you RAG 2.0. And
Wow.
it's even
The sequel to
better
RAG
than
1.
Yeah. I was playing around with it and mind blown as to how accurate being able to pull in like all that instructor data from PDFs is. So it can really like search all those PDFs. We're also playing around with pulling in, having it search on audio and video files. So fingers crossed, we hope it works.
Oh, man.
So we could showcase that.
You can feed it a whole bunch of these podcasts, and then you can understand how many times Mike says so.
And then lastly is the intro to Prompt Builder. So we're going to showcase how you can use it in your agents, how you can use it in field generation. So the little sparkles on your field to auto-generate content, and also things like screen flows. So really a lot of great introductory content. And then we're going to send you off to our demo booth so that you can get a deeper dive of the cool things that you saw in our demos.
Can I just tell you that sparkle fields are my jam?
I love sparkles.
I think they're the coolest things. I just, I love them. I need a shirt that says that. Brittney, there is like a buzz at TDX, and I will say you do an amazing job of capturing it from video and pictures. What would your advice be for people attending TDX that want to share out some of the fun stuff in as cool a manner as you do?
Oh, I love that question, Mike. And thank you for the compliment. I guess I'd just say video content is awesome. We love to hear from our trailblazers, agent blazers, admins on social. So just don't be scared to pull out your phone, capture some genuine reactions to some of the things that you're experiencing. And you never know, if you tag us on X or LinkedIn, you might get a repost. But the posts that resonate most with me that I see from our community are just general feedback and response to what you're seeing. And I think admins who are not able to attend the event are also really excited to see what people on the ground are sharing and experiencing. So that's kind of my job, is to make sure that I capture that so that if you're not able to attend, you kind of get the magic, the feel of it all.
Yeah, and you have a whole command center set up in the room.
I try,
it's quite the setup. As long as the cord works, then all your monitors work, and it's fabulous.
You have to have double screens when you're trying to see all of the action going on.
Right. So now, but attendees don't need double screens. You don't have to walk around with two phones.
No.
Everything for Brittney.
Do not recommend that for attendees. No.
That would be hilarious. Okay, so we'll wrap up here. But last question for everybody. And Brittney, you were the last to talk, so we'll start with you. If you were going to TDX this year, or you were planning agents in your org, what is one thing you would start doing today as of this podcast to help get ready, and maybe some content you'd look at it for TDX?
I'm so glad that you asked this question, because I was about to ask you if I could plug something else that is very important for admins. So we have a great resource available right now on admin.salesforce.com that our wonderful blog manager, Eliza Riley, wrote. It's a Salesforce Admins Guide to TDX 2025. It kind of captures everything we chatted about today, but it has links and way more details about everything that you'll get to experience in person and online. So I highly recommend, if you haven't already read that blog post, go do that now. It's a great starting point to get ready for the event.
I like it. It's very good. Kate, how about you?
To build on that, I think that Getting the foundations before you go is really important. Whenever you go to TDX, there's just so many directions that you can be pulled in, and there are so many exciting things you can do. So if you have it prioritized in your mind what you want to do, like if you want to be going to sessions, or if you want to make sure that you get in the demos that Jen was talking about, or you want to for sure get that hands-on time building agents, or get one of the Agentforce consultations while you're there, do the homework up front, get your foundations, read the blogs that have been put out on what is Agentforce and kind of the basics, and have that knowledge going in so that you're able to really get the most out of the event and prioritize what you need.
That's great advice. Jen, you're going to back clean up because you're our most experienced, longest lasting evangelist on the call.
So because you're at TDX and you're in person, there's all these hands-on trainings. I would sign up for as many as possible just so that you can get hands-on, because I know going on Trailhead, you're creating that Agentforce Trailhead playground, and that goes away in 3 days. It doesn't give you a lot of time to play, but you're going to be taught by experts, right? So, and they'll be there to answer your questions as well. So I would check those out. I would definitely check out sessions where you're learning about the new features that are coming down the pike. So anything that you're not aware of, and you should go to those sessions so that, again, a lot of those sessions will be led by the product manager. So you can actually talk to them afterwards. And that's what I found helpful of attending in-person events, is that you get that FaceTime with the PMs to ask them additional questions. They probably don't like me saying so that people can like stalk them afterwards. But yeah. And I would say also build out your agenda, right? Make sure that you aren't overloaded and you have time to actually go around and look at the demo booths and talk to people in addition to watching sessions and attending them.
Yeah, I can't agree more with you on that. The number of people that I've had walk up to me and say, so what should I go to? And it's, day one at 10 o'clock already. And it's like, wow, clock's ticking. You're missing out on stuff. I think, the one thing I would add to all of that, if you're in person, get as early as you can to a session, and then talk to the people next to you or afterwards. And if you're online, talk to other people that are on social, talk to Brittney and see the other people that are maybe tweeting or posting about stuff like that, because you can also make connections with them. Like, I think the biggest thing is, a lot of the content is recorded or online later, but those happenstance conversations or people you run into, that's a 1 in a million time situation. And that's all part of what's awesome about going. Fantastic. Well, thank you all for coming on the podcast and giving us a roadmap to TDX. If people really like this, we might have to do a similar version for that other big event we do in October.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So that was a fun discussion with everybody. I still think I can fit 1 or 2 more people from evangelism or admin relations on the call. So that's going to be my goal for Dreamforce. But if you enjoyed listening to this episode and you're on iTunes or some other podcast app, generally there's like 3 dots you got to tap and you can follow or you can share the episode. Hey, share, post it on social. Because I would love for you to share it with more people. More people can listen and be part of this wonderful admin community. And of course, as Brittney mentioned on the call, if you're looking for more great resources, your one stop for everything admin is admin.salesforce.com, including a transcript of the show and any links that we have mentioned. And be sure to join the conversation in the Admin Trailblazer group. That is in the Trailblazer community. And you know where to find that link? In the show notes on admin.salesforce.com. It's like we thought of this stuff in advance. Anyway, until next week, which funny enough is also TDX. I'll see you in the cloud. Well, that just kind of dropped there. Isn't that fun? Just here it is. Just, I don't know where to go. Yeah, thanks. 20 minutes. Well, we'll see if Dan leaves that in. Sometimes you just leave him stuff like that.
See what he catches.